Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
This week, we're discussing bikes, tech, and products that we wish still existed.
Plus, in hot tech, we have got a crazy new gravel bike, 2 new city bikes, we've got weird tech from Leadville, plus a device that could potentially solve the UCI's problem of slowing down pro racing, as well as comments of the week, and we've got the bike vault. Let's do this.
So, let us talk then about these bikes, the tech, and the products that we wish still existed, or at the very least were kind of fashionable again. You know, stuff that was once popular, but has now either stopped being made completely or just no one really uses anymore.
Yeah, I totally agree. So the reason we wanted to kind of discuss this, right, is because you and I were out filming last week doing another video of new bike versus retro bike, and it was really cool because the bike we were riding was the Time VXRS from, what we saying, 2006?
2005 it was. It was Luca Paolini's team bike from Quickstep.
So this kind of got us onto the subject of what is it that we wish kind of still existed in the world of bikes and tech, because that bike was almost like a bingo checklist of loads of the different products and things and designs that not just us, but various people say they wish kind of still existed, was more popular, or was still readily available. I'm talking things like rim brakes, mechanical shifting, it had tubular tyres, it had wide
I do not want those again.
No, we don't want
You
those.
can keep your tubular tyres.
Okay, it had wide handlebars. You absolutely loved those.
I did, yeah.
So yeah, it kind of got me thinking about all of these different products, and I thought you could probably kick this off with a little bit of a, and I don't want to say rants, that's definitely not the right word, but we were into the wide handlebars, and you were like, do you know what, I wish they were perhaps more of a thing again.
Well, I mean, wide handlebars is a separate topic, isn't it? And actually, I'm in the process of making a video for GCN Tech about that, basically, which is not a rant, but, you know, it's a vent, maybe.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's tech often that still exists now, but isn't considered to be premium anymore, and therefore it's got these kind of almost negative connotations. So, for example, you mentioned about the handlebars.
Yeah.
The two-piece bar and stem.
Of course.
You know, so like it's ubiquitous across all of cycling to have a separate stem and handlebar, but it's not as aero, it's not as light, and it doesn't look quite as sleek as a one-piece carbon cockpit. So that is what's considered to be premium, and rightly so, but actually there's a lot to be said for a two-piece bar and stem, isn't there, really? Like, it's good.
Adjustability, you can change the parts in and out. If you need to buy something new, well, you just buy the handlebar or the stem rather than perhaps the entire thing, which tends to be quite expensive and made of carbon fibre.
Yeah.
But there's also a secondary part which comes to this, which I wish was still more of a thing on more bikes, and that's like externally routed cables, right? New modern bikes, everything's integrated, it's slick, we love how it looks, but let's just be totally honest, the practicalities around that, if you have to do any work on your bike, is it's a bit of a nightmare compared to how things used to be with externally routed cables, right?
I mean, that is absolutely true. Yeah. Like, it is harder, but how many people, honestly, and I suspect we have quite a skewed audience watching GCN Tech, but how many cyclists actually used to work on their own bikes with external cables, you know, versus now? I would imagine that a lot of people would just be like, oh, my gears aren't working properly. Take it to the local bike shop fixes it. Yeah,
well, in fairness, like, cables have gradually phased out a little bit, to be honest, electronic shifting, hydraulic brakes, but nonetheless, I'm thinking, at no point am I trying to say it's faster, better looking, lighter, any of that, but just from a pure, simple functionality point, as like a enthusiast that's into doing all this stuff. Remember when the shifters had the cable coming out the side and you were like, oh, I need to change a cable, 5 minutes, done, enjoy your ride again.
I think we have got into a position, haven't we, where bikes are becoming more and more complicated.
Yeah.
And so for some people, I suspect, we're going to end up in a situation like with cars, which is that for a minority of people, a lot of us in this circle of friends, would probably be like the cycle equivalent of a classic car enthusiast, which is to say that like, actually working on your bike in a way that is kind of nice and rewarding is part of the joy of cycling. Whereas actually for 99.1% of people, just owning a bike that feels amazing, looks amazing, and if it breaks, you take it to your bike shop, is just going to be more than enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can get on board with that, actually.
One thing that I've been thinking is actually, whilst it's neither bike nor product nor tech, it's knowledge.
Yeah.
So what I struggle with now is that because I know the importance of certain things, I find it harder to use products from years gone by.
Like to kind of go back a step.
So, for example, inner tubes. Right? You got a flat on our shoot.
I did, actually. Like
the other day.
How long have we ridden? 5 minutes?
We've ridden for 5 minutes. Alex got a puncture and you replaced your inner tube, and I looked at you pulling out your TPU inner tube, and I'm like, well, that's 30 quid gone.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is insane. But the trouble is, if you were to use a 5 quid Boutard tube now, because you know how much slower that is in the back of your mind. I never had a problem with using Boutard tubes. I wouldn't have a problem now either, except for the fact that I know that they're slower, and that would bug me. And it's the same with all of this stuff. It's like, it's like your wheels or your aerodynamics or your chain lube or all these things that you know now add up to make a bigger picture. What I wish still existed was ignorance. Ignorance is bliss.
This is great.
Also, ignorance is cheap.
It is. Actually, that brings me on to kind of one of the next things I was going to float as the idea here. Sealed square taper bottom bracket units, right? I know they're heavy. I know they don't spin like super fast like all the crazy bearings that we see now, but this is something that I kind of wish was, I don't know if I can say it, was still a little bit more popular, because they last for ages. You got one tool at home, you can change it out, and life is sort of simple.
Mate, you can keep your square taper bottom brackets. I'm ever so slightly, / quite a lot older than you, and my early years of cycling were on square taper bottom brackets, and they were horrendous. Now, I know a lot of you out there will be like, oh, they weren't, but my experience of them was so... First of all, they don't last forever. They were disposable, the old Shimano ones.
The whole thing just went,
but they definitely didn't last forever. Then there's the fact that they could be really noisy. There was like a real like creaking, clicking noise you could get with the square taper bottom bracket. So everyone who's like, oh yeah, press fit bottom brackets are so rubbish. Square taper bottom brackets and cranks were terrible.
Yeah, okay.
And then I remember going to a bike shop and saying, oh, my bottom bracket's worn out, can I have a new one? And they had to get out this massive book to work out what length axle I needed. Because it was like, well, what frame have you got? Oh, you've got a Kona Lava Dome, it was. And they were like, and what cranks have you got? Oh, you've got these Sagino whatevers. And it was like, well, you probably need either a 113mm or a 117mm.
And we can get it in 4 weeks?
Yeah. And I'm like, well, hold on a sec. That's like 4mm difference on my Q factor.
Yeah, no, yeah, okay.
They were rubbish. Yeah, okay. When Shimano brought out their
Octolink?
Well, Octolink came first, and that was great because it solved the clicking, creaking noise.
Yeah, okay.
And then when they went to Holotech 2, that was the game changer.
Well, I think you're probably right, because let's face it, that system is still basically used today, right? So it's kind of stood the test of time a little more. It's been refined, and maybe the best sort of halfway house solution that we could agree on here is just the threaded bottom bracket using that kind of tech. I feel like that solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, I think that's cool. You're gonna throw rim brakes at us, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, where's they to do?
100% that was on my list. Right, but look, hear
He's
me
not
out.
even joking.
Hear me out, right? Wait, there's a very specific case here, I want to say. So in the past, you and I both discussed what we feel would be like peak bike, is what you called it initially. Remind me of the bike that you made a video with for that. What was it? Was it an old, I want to say Pinarello or not? Yeah,
there was a Pinarello from, it's like 96. It was a Pegoretti made Pinarello race bike, I think. And for me, it was amazing because it had deep section carbon wheels.
Yeah.
So it looked cool.
Yeah.
And it had Campy with the internal cables but you had
So yeah, everyone
bar-mounted
has
shifting.
their like idea, because I feel like it draws you back to like memories when you were younger, right? That's probably what drew you to that bike. Now, similar thing for me. The way I'm saying I like rim brakes, very specific case, the direct mount dual pivot rim brakes, basically the last generation of rim brakes. I think they were the ones that ticked the box.
Yeah.
You agree or not?
Well, I mean, they were really good, right?
Yeah.
But no one's ever said that rim brakes weren't good. It's just that disc brakes have advantages over them. So I'm not sure I can get on board with that one quite either.
Yeah. Do you have any others you want to sort of throw out there, or is it more your sort of thoughts around like choice and this ignorance is bliss concept?
Well, so choice is a good one, right?
Yeah.
Because like we said, like all of this tech that we've talked about still exists, right?
Yeah.
But it is now often associated with lower end bikes. And so there are some bike brands, not many, but some that give you the choice about whether or not you have a one-piece or a two-piece cockpit.
Yeah.
For example, or you can choose the dimensions of your cockpit, and that I think is key, isn't it?
Yeah.
So there are definitely ways you can get around some of these things. So
Yeah.
Orbea, for example, you can choose a two-piece or a one-piece, and
Using
you'd save
like
your,
Mayo configuration.
that's it.
Yeah,
You save yourself £265 if you
pretty
go for
good.
a two-piece.
It's pretty good actually to be able to go online, configure a bike, and lower the price. That's a cool thing.
That is a cool thing, yeah. So I think that's good, but if you're buying complete bikes, then often you don't get that choice. So if you go like, well, I want a two-piece cockpit, but then that means you're going to get a group set that's 2 tiers lower than you might be wanting, because you can't get a two-piece cockpit on a premium frame with a premium group set in some cases. So, but I think that'll work itself out, won't it?
Yeah, I think it will. Plus, yeah, I'm in agreement with you on most things actually, and I'll change my mind on the square taper bottom bracket then midway through the show. Complete U-turn on that.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Can I just say actually, I'm planning to ride a fixed gear bike to work. Now, I've never ridden fixed before.
Are you
Not
happy
a fan.
saying this and it's being recorded? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, well, it'd be great to get your thoughts on this. But part of it is a response to, electronic group sets and hydraulic disc brakes and all of that stuff. And you say rising costs. The wheels that I'm getting might be quite premium for it. So
do you want to tell us, or are you going to hold fire on this?
I'll hold fire on that. I might be getting a bit ahead of myself. But anyway, but part of it is just that kind of simplification process. And the tech still exists, right?
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I can get on board with that. Nonetheless, it's kind of fun to pick out stuff that we wish still existed. And it's actually a really good point to wrap up this main talking point. So if you have any like bikes, tech and products that you wish still existed, well, let us know in the comments section down below, because as of every week, I'll read out the best ones the week after. There we go. Okay, it's now time for hot and spicy tech, and we're going to kick things off with what can only be described as disgusting fork fairings. So, these were spotted at the Lifetime Grand Prix at Leadville, week just gone by, and they were spotted on Sofia Gomez Villafane's bike, I believe. So, it appears to be a 3D printed plastic fairing that goes on the back of the RockShox SID Cross Country XC forks.
Yeah.
Suspension forks.
The worrying thing about this image, other than the actual look of it itself, is the fact that that's, I think, an official black box logo on there.
Like their development
the
prototype.
Skunkworks thing, which suggests that someone at SRAM/RockShox thought that was a good idea.
But maybe it is in terms of aerodynamics, maybe not in terms of aesthetics.
I mean, I think when you look at the aerodynamic setup of her mountain bike there, I feel like you're kind of
Clutching at straws?
polishing a turd, basically.
Wow, yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, look at the fork crown.
Okay, yeah, in terms of aerodynamics, yes, I can get on board with that.
Yeah, not going to make much of a difference, but it was pretty wild, Leadville, in terms of tech.
There was a lot of different stuff that we spotted.
A lot of different stuff.
One of the things I wanted to highlight was the crazy fact that we've seen year on year now, more and more people generally using full sus mountain bikes but adding drop bars onto them. Now, I think Keegan Swenson, one of the first to kind of do this, maybe not the first.
Your mate Dylan.
Dylan Johnson's done it. And I think Keegan Swenson has won the men's race, I think the last 5 years in a row. And so now people have gone, well, if he's winning on it, maybe I'll do it. So it's become more and more popular. But somebody that did buck the trend was in the women's pro race. Let me find
Kate Courtney.
Kate Courtney won.
She took the win and broke the course record using flat handlebars.
So, bucked the trend and just was like, you know what, I don't need drop bars.
No.
I thought it was kind of cool nonetheless.
Super good. Well, she is an absolute class act, isn't she? Not saying Keegan Swenson isn't, but she is super cool. She did take a hacksaw to her mountain bike handlebars, though.
Yeah.
So they were narrower.
Well, she didn't need them half the time. If you see how she was riding holding the crown of a fork.
Yeah, I actually watched her Instagram reel, because I'm pretty trendy like that.
Yeah.
And she said that she'd mounted SRAM blips to the fork
I missed
crown,
this.
so she could actually change gear whilst holding onto her forks.
Okay, that's just blown my mind.
That's pretty rude, isn't it?
I don't know. So we say sometimes perhaps gravel needs a few more rules. Do we think we're okay with this kind of stuff happening or not?
Well, so Dan and I talked to the GCN show this week about how the concern is, right, that you watch the pros like Keegan Swenson using drop handlebars on a mountain bike, but having put drop handlebars on one of the nicest mountain bikes ever, the Orbea Ois, like, it ruined it. It was awful.
Really?
Oh, it was absolutely terrible. So even though you might get a stopwatch out and say, for this 100-mile race at Leadville, Dylan Johnson, I think, said he was 6 minutes quicker with drop handlebars. But for real people in the real world, looking at those riders going like, oh, well, that's quicker, I'm going to use that, it will ruin your bike. Like, it was absolutely putrid to ride.
I love that I love how strong you feel.
Yeah, no, I really do. So whilst I'm totally cool with them going to do it, what I think I felt that gravel needs some rules to protect people from this, because otherwise people are like, oh yeah, that's a legit thing to do.
Let's do it.
Yeah, but no, don't do it.
Well, we've saved everyone the hassle now.
I hope so. I really hope so. But anyway, we'll see what happens. But I thought also we should do a shout out to your mate Dylan Johnson, because it was his first race back after he got totaled by a car, wasn't it?
Yeah, actually, I was again reading on Instagram because we're both cool like that. We do that. So it was cool to see actually.
So he got a bit emotional, didn't he?
Yeah,
so
got
fair play to him.
I think he made it into the top 20, so again, he's still better than me.
Yeah. Also, it turns out that altitude can actually bring out certain emotions. There's something called high altitude lacrimosity syndrome, which basically means that you're more likely to cry at altitude.
Oh, of course there is.
I find it strikes me quite badly on aeroplanes.
Really?
Yeah. I find that if I watch any movie on an airplane, I'm reduced to tears. And it got to the point where I was like, something weird's going on here.
Yeah.
So I googled it, and apparently, if you're like altitude, if the oxygen concentration is slightly different, you can end up crying a bit more.
Okay,
which is why the Avengers Endgame just floored me.
Too much for you, was it?
It was horrendous. Yeah.
All right, moving swiftly on. Another crazy thing I saw was Brendan Johnston decided he didn't even need a rear tyre on his bike. Again, clip I saw on Instagram. He's absolutely trucking along at Leadville, no rear tyre at all. Wow, amazing. If we can play the clip, well, we'll play it now. But,
that's quite an expensive equipment decision, isn't it?
Expensive equipment decision, but also highlighted that perhaps the wheels he's using are pretty damn robust.
There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on from the world of weird pro gravel racing and back to the realms of the normal world. We've got two new city bikes to discuss from Canyon, don't we?
Yeah, we have. So the Citylite and the Citylite On, so the electric version.
Yeah.
Very cool looking city bikes they are too, aren't they?
Yeah, Canyon say they're bikes that simplify city riding.
Nice.
I like the look of this stuff, right? And they're kind of designed to have all of the essential things that you need for this kind of riding. It makes total sense. Internal geared hub, belt drive, dynamo lights, fenders, kickstand, rack, integrated lock so that no one runs off with your bike.
Yeah.
All of kind of like the good stuff.
That's cool.
On the Citylite On, which is the e-bike version, you got built-in lights with a little brake light signal as well.
That's really cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was neat.
Yeah, I mean, it's the exact opposite of what we were talking about earlier in the show, isn't it? Like, as opposed to a bike that you can work on yourself, this is a bike that hopefully you don't need to work on ever, which for everyone riding around a town is kind of what you want, isn't it?
Well, yeah, totally. And the way they've gone about it actually is that you basically have one size and they've made it super adjustable. The stem's easy adjustable, big, huge range of the seat post, and you just choose between a a bike with a top tube or a step-through frame.
Nice.
They do a huge wide range.
That's cool, isn't it? They look stylish as well, don't they? Yeah, okay. What's next, mate?
Oh, this is great, right? This is a product someone sent in specifically for you. This arrived last week and I've actually waited to...
I can imagine. What's it going to be? Something very cool.
It's very cool. Let me just flip this up. There we are. There's both of us in this.
Is that a makeup mirror?
It's a mirror, right? It goes on your arm for when you're riding, and it's from a brand called Rear Viz. And it was sent in specifically for you. They say... I should read this out. I'll skim through it. Earlier this year, Simon reviewed cycling mirrors, and this person left a comment about rear vis mirrors, and they say that basically the convex lens makes vehicles appear further away, and they feel vulnerable without riding one of these. So they thought they found one of these because they're really hard to find online. No. They've refurbished it. Get this? Refurbished the original mirror. Bought it a few years ago. Got a new mirror in there, a new red insert to match GCN, and as well as a couple of straps which we've got down here. One to go on your arm, one to go on a flat bar.
Well, that's pretty funky, isn't it? So I don't think I'd want... Oh, it goes on your handlebar?
No, I think it goes on your wrist. Yeah. And one for your wrist if you're doing drop bars, and one for your forearm if you're riding on flat bars.
I mean, my wrist isn't quite that big. Neither is my forearm, and certainly not my bicep. But
your thigh?
I mean...
Anyway, they've said they don't want it back, so hopefully you can keep it and use it.
Well, so Peter,
this is Peter.
Thank you, Peter, for thinking of me. I mean, I've never seen one of these before, and having said in that video that I really didn't like the one off your helmet, I thought that was pants, and I couldn't get the right position on the one on my drops that was a bit more discreet.
Maybe this is the thing for you.
Yeah.
You could use that when you're commuting on your fixie.
I could. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give it a try because I remain open-minded about these things. Well, actually, no, I say that. After the video, I was not open-minded. I was like, if it works for you, that's great, but it didn't work for me. But
mine has been back opened again.
Well, yeah, this is a new product to me, so thank you very much.
Right, talking about gravel again now, we have a new kind of crazy gravel bike for a brand called Fara, and it's their GR4, the fourth generation of the GR. Oh,
yeah?
It's said to be a bike that defies categorisation.
Well, hold on. I don't want to be pedantic, but if they've called it the fourth generation gravel bike, but it defies categorisation, I mean, I'm pretty sure they've just defined it as a gravel bike, haven't they?
I think what they're kind of going about it is it's got clearance for massive 57mm or 2.2-inch chunky tyres, got like racy geometry, but also you've got all the mounts and fender racks and stuff like that. So it's kind of... Is it a race bike? Is it a do-it-all gravel bike? Is it like a bike packing adventure? And they say it does it all.
Well, I mean, it looks super cool, so fair play to them.
Yeah.
I mean, I am going to be pedantic here, but...
please do.
I mean, that, to my mind, is very much like a gravel bike that is following the trend as opposed to bucking it.
Yeah, I could go on board.
There's quite a few like that already, which doesn't mean that it's not great, but I don't think you can say it defies categorisation when clearly...
fits into the categories of all the modern gravel bikes.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whatever, but...
yeah, it's cool. I like it.
It is cool. The thing that stands out to me, right, is this slightly strange two-piece handlebar and stem.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool, isn't it?
You know, the sort of split V stem.
Yeah.
You've got loads of different options in terms of handlebar widths, but also what I thought was quite different, I suppose, is you choose your stem length, but there's a 10mm like adjustability range within it. So the options are like a 80 to 90, 100 to 110, and 120 to 130.
That's neat.
970 gram frame, 200 grams lighter than the previous one. UDH compatible. They say it's got frame storage, all the cargo mounts, hidden fender mounts, removable magnets for Fara's integrated bike packing system, and loads of different build spec options to choose from as well.
That looks cool. Well, apart from their poor choice of wordage, I think that's great.
Okay, so the other day we've been talking about what the UCI are trying to do in terms of new regulation changes and stuff like that. And essentially, whilst no one knows this for sure, it seems like what they're trying to do is just slow bike racing down a little bit, right? So I found the product that could be the solution to this.
Go on.
I've emphasised on could because I found it on Kickstarter.
Right.
Would you care to click on the link that I have shared with you?
Okay.
This is going to be great. So, this is a product called the Mag Burn. and essentially it's adjustable magnets which add resistance to the rear wheel of your bike.
No way.
And they say, let me find the wording for it. It adds up to 250 watts of resistance at 30 kilometers an hour.
Whoa. That is wild.
So yeah, as I said, it's on Kickstarter. There's currently got, I think, 2 people backing it.
I can't imagine there's all that many people out there that are wanting to make their bikes slower.
But in the world of pro racing, when people are trying to really slow this down, I was thinking this could be the product. However, there's one fundamental flaw for racing. Do you want to know what it is?
You need aluminium wheels?
You need aluminium wheels. Does anyone in pro racing use aluminium wheels?
No. They do not. That would slow them down for a start, wouldn't it?
Maybe that's the thing. Carbon wheels.
There was a brand that used to sell a front hub that was like, do you remember it provided drag? I forget what it was called now.
Someone will know in the comments. Let us know if you can remember what it's called.
Yeah, but it was like, I remember like they got a couple of pros on board to help like sell it, and it was basically like you can go training with someone that's not as strong as you because you can add up to 100 watts of resistance. Yeah,
I do remember that. It's really bugging me. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, no idea. I mean, funnily enough, I didn't need it. That's cool, man. I like that.
And then finally, in Hot Tech this week, we need to discuss our Wahoo competition, right? Which is still running at the moment. So this is a competition where you have the chance to win a bundle of different things. You've got a GPS head unit,
an ACE head unit.
An ACE head unit.
The daddy, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You've got heart rate and radar bundle. And if you want to enter the competition, well, we'll have the link in the description down below. Competition runs from the 12th to 22nd of August. As always, you need to click and read the terms and conditions to make sure your region is actually included.
It's open worldwide, this one.
Well, there you go. Happy days. And winner going to be announced on the GCN show, Tuesday, 26th of August, presumably by you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, go on then. That's very kind of you. Right, that's it for Hot Tech this week, which leads us on to comments of the week. So these are the comments you guys have been leaving underneath our videos from last week. Would you care to read a couple out from last week's GCN Tech Show?
Happily. Nameen F27 said the gap between aero and lightweight has shrunk to a point where aero has more advantages. The only way to keep lightweight relevant is to lower the limit from 6.8 to about 5.9, where lightweight would gain more than aero.
I thought it was an interesting take on the subject.
Yeah, absolutely it is. I don't think as many people would get down to that weight, though, are there? By the time you factor in all the other things that we know now.
Yeah, you go crazy light, you lose functionality and stiffness of the bike. Well, functionality, as Ollie highlighted with Andrew Feather on the Crazy Light bike.
Yeah. Do you know what you could do, though?
Go on.
Rim brakes.
Well, yeah, I love those. Direct mount dual pivot rim brakes only, though.
You could do that, though, couldn't you?
Couldn't have a square tapered bottom bracket, too heavy.
Do you think that any pros, and like men and women, would use, if the UCI abolished the minimum weight, would use rim brakes again in order to get lighter bikes?
I think in specific cases, yeah, I reckon they would.
I think they would, yeah.
I think it would really open up the scope for manufacturers and riders and brands to be so specific with stuff. I don't know if that would. For racing, I think that'd be great. I don't know what that would mean in terms of products and prices for consumers, because it might make things very tricky for manufacturers to keep making all this stuff. But I think the world of racing, I think, would be cool.
What a Pandora's box the UCI could open if they removed the weight limit.
Yeah.
Interesting. Pilulava said he could have been Nairo Quintana, but he chose wide handlebars.
Oh, Nairo Quintana, yeah, okay, I got it.
Oh, sorry, Nairo.
Yeah, that was the best bit. Yeah, John Borowski 9781 says, looks like Ollie's gravel epiphany has passed. Welcome back, Road Geek Ollie. Yeah, because we were back talking about top spec nerdy bikes again after the week before. He said, I'm done with this performance stuff. I'm into just fun gravel vibes. He made a U-turn quite quick on that.
I was going to say, that sounds weird.
But maybe it's feeling funny.
I was going to say, that doesn't sound like him at all.
And then underneath the video, 5 weird products that you didn't know Shimano made, which I picked out some crazy stuff. There was Kurt O'Dare 8785 says, the strangest but coolest shifter was the Browning Automatic. Not Shimano, but it deserves a spot in a video sometime. So maybe I could pick those out.
Do you know that one?
No, I don't.
It's not that automatic thing that you had downstairs, is it?
No, that's something called Auto Shift. That's different. I'll have to look it up. Basically.
Yeah, that's cool, isn't it? Lux Wattage said, I'm looking forward to the 2050 GCN video where a brackets grey-haired Alex.
Got a few already. Couple.
No, not really.
One or two.
Maybe one or two. Well, it's 2030 video. Where Alex goes through 5 pieces of tech for today that ended up on the interesting ideas that never took off list.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Paul Urban 2 says, am I crazy for wanting DI2 disc brakes? Yes, you are.
Yeah.
No one would want that. Also, we had your FKT video. It was out on GCN. The actual video and attempts that you made. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. Sorry about that.
Oh, mate, it's a banger. You'll
Yeah?
love it.
Okay, great. But you also shared some of your bike, tech and equipment setup choices over on the tech channel. One thing I want to highlight, actually, in case anyone hasn't seen the tech video so far, we'll put a clip of it up on screen now. And then now I want to discuss what it is. Where did you come across this red chain set from SRAM? Your bike's got force on it.
I can't.
You stuck a SRAM red chain set on it?
I can't take the credit for that. Our amazing team in the GCN Megabase workshop, when I said, it'd be great to get a power meter on this bike, please. Not for me to record my power, but you know when you're fresh and you're starting on a really long ride, you need a power meter just to keep your head in check.
Keep a lid on it.
So basically, I needed a power meter for the first 2 hours, and then after that, I was just doing whatever I could to survive. Anyway, and the guys were like, we found this SRAM red one.
Great. I think it was actually taken off my gravel bike.
Was it?
No biggie. Quite a few people picked up on this, actually.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not often you have spare red chain sets lying around, but anyway, it's not often you have spare Dura-Ace chain sets lying around either, but some people do.
Yeah. So a few people picked up on that. And then Alex Johnson 6462 says, hey, GCN team, any idea what size Terra frame Si was riding?
I've got a pretty good idea.
Yeah,
it's a large.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, easy.
Yeah, it was super nice, that bike.
Yeah, it looks really cool.
Nice. One or two people saying, should I have used a drop bar mountain bike?
I think I know the answer to that based on earlier.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I would have had an even more miserable time.
Yeah,
but no, I got to say, actually, I feel like I nailed it with the bike and kit choices. That's great.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for comments of the week. We'll move on to the bike vote in a second. But I've just realised I need to tell you this absolutely ridiculous story from earlier.
Go on.
Right. So I've had a bit of a rubbish start to my day. I was late here. I rushed into the office to meet you to film the show. So I'm absolutely trucking along on the bike, head down, aero. I'm going down this big descent, 27, 28 mile an hour. What happens? I glance up to see where I'm going. Full speed. What flies into my face? A pigeon. Absolutely full whack into my face.
No.
I thought it'd broken my jaw to start with.
No.
Honestly, I had to stop. I slammed the brakes on, stopped the side road. The arm on my glasses had broken off.
No.
So I had to go find that and clip that back in. Then I was like, my jaw's actually okay. Then I couldn't hear out of my ear. And then, in the midst of it all, because obviously the pigeon was terrified, it's crapped all over me. So then I got going again. And then I'm like, oh, God, I need to get to work. And then my normal route to work, road closed. So I was like, I'll just ride through. The guys doing the roadworks will let me through. Then they stopped me. I'm like, it's closed. You can't go through. I was like, look, come on, I'm running later. Let me through. And eventually they let me through. And then I made it here.
Amazing. Well, looking at you, I would never have guessed that you'd had a head-on collision with a pigeon.
At 30 miles an hour.
Whoa.
Yeah, it really hurt.
What a dumb pigeon. I've never in my life heard of any cyclist colliding with. I know in Australia you get dive bombed by.
Yeah.
What is it you get dive bombed? Magpies. Magpies. Yeah. Brendan from Australia.
Yeah, cheers, Brendan.
But never being hit in the face with.
Honestly, the last thing I saw was that its wings spread right out and its feet coming to my face. It was like.
Well, did you find the pigeon afterwards?
I think it just flew off. I was just like, oh, bloody. The pigeon was probably thinking, bloody idiot.
Probably,
yeah.
No one's ever said that that's a problem with aerodynamics before, but...
yeah, there you go.
There you go. God, mate, well, I feel bad for you.
Right, onto the bike vaults. We need to get the bell. 1 second.
All right.
So, the bike vaults. This is the part of the show where you upload pictures of your bike and we judge them to be either nice or super nice. If they're super nice, the bell gets rung. So who we got first, Si?
Oh, we're starting off with a fixie.
Yeah.
Yes. This looks like it's been sent in by Neil C. Used bike bargain. My new to me gym bike that I can leave outside the gym and not worry. That looks very cool. But can I say that the trouble with like hack bikes is that if you're a bike nerd, you can end up making your hack bike really flipping nice. And what started out as a bike that you could leave lying around because no one was going to nick it,
to look too good.
Ends up looking like this, which I'm not going to lie, mate, I think that's super nice.
Yeah, super nice.
Even the yellow dust caps on his valves there.
Yeah, it goes with the sort of yellow in the logos.
That's cool. Although, I tell you what, if you're doing leg day at the gym and then you've got to ride a fixie home,
hope it's flat.
Fair play to you, mate. Right then, next up.
iGuy27 with a new Factor Monza with 1x13 Explorer with, Elite Drive wheels as well.
Nice.
I like it.
I'm a big fan of the old one-bar road bikes, mate.
Yeah. I'm kind of coming to terms with it because I've been riding your bike recently and I didn't like it to start with. Now I kind of do like it.
Why don't you like it?
Well, my commute home is very hilly.
What's wrong with you?
Not very strong, am I?
No, clearly not.
Anyway, I like this bike.
I like this bike.
Valves aligned. I guess the gearing's okay. All the accessories are kind of removed, well presented. Super nice set.
Yeah,
for
sure. Very cool. Right then, the vegan tree man. Up next, a sunrise shot of my Holdsworth Elan. That is a beautiful photo, to be fair, isn't it?
Oh,
very cool. After being inspired by the video Si did of his early morning sunrise mini adventure, I gave it a go myself. Short ride up to the Ashdown Forest in East Sussex, here in the UK, to catch the sun and a cheeky bike volt snap on top of it. Holdsworth Elan, steel frame with full Shimano Ultegra group set and Hunt Aerolite carbon wheels.
I like it.
I like that very much. I think that's wicked.
Yeah, I do like that. It's super nice.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. Also, props for getting up early and seeing the sunrise. That's cool, isn't it?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Who we got next?
Jace.
We're third time lucky. 2 super fails on previous bikes.
Ooh,
it's a
harsh.
Tavello Arrow, frame bought from Pandapodium, self-build, 6.97 kilos aero bike. Aggressive position, but comfortable for me. Well, I mean, look, if you've submitted bikes to the Bike Vault previously, surely you've picked up on the fact we tend to say we like to have the cranks level.
Oh, I see. Are you going to fail him again?
I don't know. I can't.
Oh, that's
I don't
brutal.
think we can do it. We can't give it a nice again. We can be lenient.
I want to know why that's just 6.9 kilos. What's missing?
Yeah, what's not on there?
Because when I look at it, I'm sort of thinking that's a mega bike, but it looks very much like a bike that should weigh 7.4 kilos. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe it's extra small.
But it's not though, is it? That looks like it's, 54, 56-ish?
Yeah, probably.
Looks wicked.
Well, look, okay, I'm going to be lenient, right? They said this is their third time lucky. The bike's doing it for me other than the cranks. Super nice.
I don't want to get involved in this argument.
No,
because, I mean, I think the bike is super nice, but this whole pedantry about cranks, I know it's a big thing, right? So
it's super nice.
You're right. Okay, cool.
EJ Challards with, what have we got here? Following on from last week's discussion, the many chats that cost the bikes these days. A Fuji SL, Durace 9100, cash converters for £190.
Whoa.
Thanks to several GCN how-to vids, stripped it down, polished it, new headset, bottom bracket, cables chain, bar tape, picked up some unused wheels, tyres, 80 quid, all in £350, 6.6 kilos.
Well,
what?
Fair play to you. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, basic knowledge of geometry and maintenance and the willingness to stick with rim brakes. So, given what we were talking about earlier on in the show, Alex, here is the living proof that
it's there.
The tech's still there, buddy.
It is there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I do like that, actually.
Yep.
Well, I mean, straight through, super nice.
Sorry, 350 quid?
Yeah, apparently.
190 quid with Durace?
Got it from Cash Converters, he says.
I mean, is Cash Converters like the kind of place, like a pawn shop?
Yeah. Yeah, so you're getting something at pennies for what it's worth.
there's something about me that feels slightly uncomfortable with the idea of picking up a full Dura-Race group set on a bike for 190 quid. Do you know what I mean? It's like when something seems too good to be true.
Sometimes it is.
It probably is. Like,
okay.
Are you basically flipping a stolen bike?
Well, we should urge for this to be checked.
Yes.
Okay, so we should, because we don't want to condone that in any way.
No.
But back to the simple subject, nice or super nice?
Well, I mean, it looks like they ticked all the boxes, right?
Yeah, super nice.
Yeah.
Right, sick cross kid next. Green neon giant TCX with strand red group set, also known as the highlighter.
Highlighter.
I like it.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is wicked, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of those giant TCX cross bikes. I think they look cool.
This is our last bike for this week, so we need to judge it well. The
saddle looks really low. What's going on there?
Yeah, I was about to say there is a saddle to bar rise instead of a drop.
Yeah.
But okay, I mean, maybe it's a younger rider. They're growing into it.
Yep, fair. Okay.
We can go with, I know I'm a big fan of the sort of like neon yellowy green kind of colours.
I think that's cool, man. I mean, like the photo, like leaning up against the bench.
Yeah, look, there are lots of faults to pick with this image, but we've been lenient so far this week, and I'm thinking there's a couple of things hinging here.
Yeah.
It could be a clean run super nices, and this could be like a youth or junior rider. I don't want to put that sort of pressure on people getting into the sport. I want to big them up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all right. I'm cool with that.
Super nice.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's a super nice bike.
Clean sweep of super nices this week.
Wowzers.
Si, thanks. That was mega.
Well, yeah, thank you for having me, mate. It's
Yeah.
Always a pleasure. And yeah, well, I won't see you next week, but you will.
Yeah, I'll see you next week. Get involved in the comments section down below. Let us know what kind of bikes, tech, and gadgets you wish still existed or were more popular. And, well, see you here, same time next week. See ya.